This is a true love story. I hope you can read it through patiently. When the man met the woman, she was 10 years older than him, had already gone through 2 marriages, and had 3 children. To be with her, the man even decided to cut ties with his parents. The woman couldn't help but ask him, "What do you see in me?" She felt that she was no longer young and her life had become complicated. But the man's response was simple and direct: "I feel like I owe you from my past life, and only I can make you happy in this one." This seemingly ordinary answer made the woman soften, and she believed that he genuinely cared for her. The man didn't have to put in much effort to get the woman's 2 sons to call him dad. However, he couldn't get her eldest daughter to call him dad because he was only 12 years older than her, and at the time, the daughter had chosen to live away from home, in a factory dormitory. But the man wasn't discouraged. He was patient. Whenever he had time, he would cook delicious food and take it to the daughter. During holidays, even though the daughter didn't come home, the man would go to her dormitory to spend the holidays with her. After some time, the daughter finally called him uncle willingly. Under the man's indulgence, the woman's life became more and more dependent on him. When the man wasn't home, she couldn't even cook a meal properly, and often couldn't find her clothes. Every time they ate together, the woman hardly ever needed to serve herself. The man would always thoughtfully put the dishes she liked into her bowl, as if taking care of a child. Sometimes, the woman would gently protest, "Not this, I prefer that." Then she would put her chopsticks in her mouth, waiting for the man to serve her. At times like this, the man would smile and say, okay, if I serve the wrong dish, I'll eat it." Even his older sister couldn't stand it and gave him an exasperated look, saying, "You're going too far." But the woman was puzzled and replied, "What do you mean by going too far?" Under the man's care, the woman lived a carefree, happy life for 30 years, feeling like a child without a worry in the world. However, no one expected that when the woman turned 60, she would suddenly ask for a divorce. Her reasons for wanting to divorce left everyone confused. She asked the man to find a suitable partner first before they parted ways. People speculated that the woman might have a terminal illness, or perhaps the man had someone else outside their marriage. But after much persuasion, the woman finally revealed the truth: "I'm doing this for his own good. He's over 60 now, entering old age, and he's just over 50, still in his prime. I don't want him to be lonely." Her heart was filled with doubt. Though she had hesitated for a long time, deep down, she knew the truth. Those who truly understood them instantly figured it out. The woman had been unreasonable for almost a year. To show her determination, the man started cooking and doing the laundry himself, often getting his once soft and fair hands scratched and bruised. One day, the woman spent 2 whole days preparing a lavish meal for him and poured 2 glasses of red wine. She raised her glass and said, "My efforts haven't been in vain. The other person is under 50, attractive, capable, and highly appreciates your character. He promised me he will take good care of you. You won't have to work so hard anymore. Being with me has really been a sacrifice for you." The man wiped away the silent tears that had fallen from his eyes, quietly eating the food that was either too salty or too bland. Then, suddenly, he chuckled, letting out a small pft. He said, "I didn't expect that after all this time, my cooking would improve a little. Looks like if I walk ahead of you, you won't starve." Then, he muttered to himself, "Just wait 2 more days. 2 more days, and I'll be saved." The woman didn't understand what he was mumbling about and asked, "What did you say?" The man simply replied, "I said, let me think for 2 more days." He stood up, smiling, and said, "Your food is so salty, I'm going to get some water." Because in just 2 days, his rescue would arrive. The eldest daughter, who had been living in the US, would finally come back home. 2 days later, the eldest daughter returned home as promised. She looked at the man, then at the woman, and said, "You're getting a divorce? I've heard people talking nonsense outside. How can you let them slander Uncle like that? You're being so unfair." The woman rolled her eyes at her daughter and said, "He must have asked you to come back, right? No wonder he said to wait 2 more days." The eldest daughter stopped trying to convince her mother. She turned to the man and said, I can understand my mom. Finally, the man showed a look of anxiety and said, Daughter, save me. If you don't help me, I won't let you leave. You'll have to help me settle my affairs before you go. The eldest daughter smiled, opened her computer, and played Lu Ruoying's song originally, You Are Here. She turned the volume up, and the song played, I want to do something for you, to make you happier. I love you so much, and I'm willing to let you go, to let you fly to a place of more happiness. As they listened to the song, both of them couldn't help but shed tears. The woman was deeply moved by the song, and it seemed like the last bit of resistance in her heart finally collapsed. The eldest daughter looked at her mother and said softly, Mom, you're getting old. What's there to be afraid of? If Uncle wanted to abandon you, he would have done so long ago. Now, you're going against his will and making decisions for him. After everything he's done for you these decades, how could you do this to him? Every time I come home, I don't want to leave, because you two are here. You've both been through so much to get to this point. We've all grown up, and now you're getting a divorce? If you really divorce, I won't need to come back to the country again. These few simple sentences made all the woman's resolve crumble instantly. Her tears poured out uncontrollably, and all the logic that had held her back seemed to disappear. She suddenly understood, loving someone meant sticking with them through thick and thin, never abandoning them. That's the end of today's story. If it moved you, please share it so more people can see this real emotion.